And so I did. So it was Jim, myself, and Glenn Millen, who's a guy from down here in Australia. Off we went, and we had meetings with SAG. Talked to them about what we were doing. Would you support us? Yeah, maybe. And then we saw all the agents in New York, all the agents in LA, and off we went. But the thing, we just never got the marketing to work. And that was unfortunate because we weren't making enough money to bring people in. We didn't have enough money to bring them in, and then on the hope that we did make money. So it got to a point where it just drifted, and then last year or earlier this year, Jim had gone. It was just basically me and a developer guy here. I said, look, let's get rid of the no payments. Let's just make the thing completely free. Anyone wants to join, great. It's going to be just a search engine for anyone looking for voices. And that's kind of what we've done. What will happen with real-time casting in the future? I have no idea. I've got some ideas, but I don't know whether they'll happen or not. But if anything does happen, it would be great. Because it's certainly been, I think we're up to seven years, I guess, or more. And it was I've done a lot of money, of my own money. Glenn did quite a bit of cash as well. And we never got any of that back. And it was kind of sad, really, that it never worked. Because the intention was there, and we, certainly believed in the industry and trying to help the industry. But,
Yeah, it's a great idea. Great idea.
Yeah, shame though. Anyway, you never know. May happen.
Yeah. All right. The Pro Audio Suite podcast. So you were kind enough to have me as a guest on recently.
We were honored to have you as a guest.
Well, thank you. So tell me how that came about.
Well, that was another funny thing because it was a guy who in Sydney, Robbo, who you've met via Source Connect now. He and I were talking, and he got me to do some bits and pieces for a podcast he was working on. And then I said to him, we should do a podcast on voiceovers. Could be interesting, just get interviews and stuff like that. So we did. We started off doing a show called the VO Radio Show. And then it was last Christmas. And we'd had George Whittam as a guest, and we'd had Robert Marshall from Source Connect and someone in Chicago as a guest separately. And I said to Robbo, we should get George and Robert on just for like a Christmas special, bit of fun. So we did, and it worked. We sort of we finished the first record, and I said to Robbo, man, that's good. That really worked. These guys are great. So I sent an email to Robert and one to George and said, look, are you guys interested in doing this on a regular basis? And we'll just rebrand the show and make it the four of us. And so they did, and it's been great. So it's not necessarily purely focused on voiceover. We're talking about anything to do with anyone who records, basically. So it could be music, it could be audio post, it could be voiceover, anything really.
And what's the website, the URL?
We don't have a website. We're very lo-fi. We have a Facebook. And then of course we just post via Libsyn, which is the server for the podcast. So and otherwise find us on our Facebook, which is the Pro Audio Suite Podcast Facebook. I know we should have a URL.
Well, that way you can also get a feed to all the services as well, all the streaming services.
Yeah.
So it will expand your distribution a lot.
Yeah, which is what we need to do. In fact, I've been talking to someone about doing exactly that, and you don't need to go mad either. I think WordPress works perfectly with Libsyn for the RSS feed.
Well, it has for me.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, my podcast was a lark too, to be honest with you, the way it started, but it's actually built into something that's quite surprising.
Yeah, well, yours is huge. You're getting big numbers, aren't you?
More than I ever expected, let's put it like that.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's funny, because I came across you, as I mentioned, on our podcast. I think the first time I saw you was with Warren Hewitt.
Oh, yeah.
And he's produced like a pro thing. That's gone nuts as well. He's doing really well.
Yeah.
So
he's done very well with it, definitely.
Yeah.
Last question, Andrew. A little off the subject, but since you are working for yourself, you probably are more in touch with this question than most people, especially people that are working for the man, so to speak.
Yep.
What's the best piece of business advice that you ever received from somebody, or maybe you learned along the way?
The simplest one of all is learn to listen. I reckon that's the key. If you listen, you're going to win.
Simple, but to the point. I love